This is Chief.
Julian.
And we have a special guest today, the Fat Man 922. What's up, Fat Man?
Hello.
Hey, so we're here today to once again continue on with our awesome series, the Mineplex Achievements and World Records series. But today's a little different. We're not going to be moving forward, we're going to be moving backwards. Before I begin, though, just to give you guys a heads up, if you've never watched this series before, the World Records, this is episode number 3. We basically take all the new world records that have been achieved. We congratulate people, we showcase them. On top of that, we also go over achievements. Did you get 1,000 wins in Dragon Escape? Did you get 2,000 wins in Runner? Anything great achievement-wise, we want to see it. We want to showcase it. So the video series is a little bit of both. It's a little bit of achievements, and it's a little bit of world records. Also, if you get any screenshots with famous YouTubers or anyone famous, we'll showcase those as well. In order to get shown in a video for the world records, those are the world records off the forum thread, which will be listed below in the text of the video. To send us pictures of famous YouTubers or anyone that any achievements that you have, send them to FlyGuy526's page, and there'll be a link below for that. But today's episode's a little different. So today we're going to be talking about one particular game within Mineplex, and that's the Fat Man's favorite game, which is Dragon Escape. So within Dragon Escape, there's your typical world records, most wins, stuff like that, and I'll show those up here right now. There's a little glimpse of the 5 or 6 records here. But within the world records, Dragon Escape offers a unique perspective on records in that there's a start and there's a finish. And when you have a game like that, which is really no different than like Mario Brothers or Zelda or Link or any game that has a start and a finish that you have to achieve something and win, you come into something called speed and timing and world records based on speed. So there's an entire website called speedrun.com dedicated to all of the speed runs of all these amazing games. And what the Fat Man did, he's going to get into that in a minute, he basically took the world records page and ported over all the speed records on Dragon Escape and brought them over to that page, made it really neat, and made it prominent. Because now that that's there, it's professional. It shows that we really want to make this thing work and get some really great records out there and see these records get beat and see these times get faster and faster. All right, so Fat Man, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been playing on Mineplex? And when did you start playing Dragon Escape? And when did you start recording the speed runs that you're doing?
Cool. So, about 9 months ago, I went on to Mineplex, which is a server I remember from a long time ago. And as soon as I got into Mineplex, I got into the game Dragon Escape. And a little bit after that, I realized that there was actually a speedrunning forum. So, pretty much within the month that I got into Dragon Escape, I got into speedrunning Dragon Escape. I got my first world record just around that time. And, yeah.
That's awesome.
That.
And right now you're holding currently 5 world records in speedruns?
Currently 5, yes.
That's awesome. So do you have the most out of everybody, or is anyone else up there close to you with records and stuff?
Currently me and a guy named Aphotics are tied for the most world record with 5.
You each have 5. Okay, well, that's neat. So that's awesome, though. Having 5 world records in the speed runs is great. So I think that's just awesome. So do you play now? Do you ever just play Dragon Escape, or is it always the speed runs when you're playing and stuff like that?
Yeah, I play casually a lot more now than I used to.
Okay.
But usually if I'm in an NPS, Mineplex player server, then I will be going for world records.
Okay.
But if I'm on a public server, I'm probably going to be just playing casually for wins.
Cool. That's pretty cool. How many wins do you have right now? Let me pull up your stats real quick. So,
I currently have 1401.
1401. Awesome. So Dragon Escape is the Dragon Egg 1401. Sweet. And obviously, if you haven't noticed, the Christmas lobby, Mineplex, congratulations. You guys did an awesome job with it. We're moving around a little bit, place to place. We're in the EU server. It's a little quieter here. But we're at the Ice Castle right now. There's Julian riding in on his horse. It looks pretty good. It's a little snow horse. But so here's a screenshot of the records page as we speak. These are all the current records that are up. And it's pretty cool. It's really well laid out. So I'm going to let the Fat Man talk a little bit about the records and the kits and how this grid's laid out and how he set this up, because this is all him. He gets a lot of the credit for taking this. So go ahead, Fat Man.
Alright, so obviously they're all based on, all the categories are based on the 5 maps currently in Dragon Escape, which
Okay.
are Skylands, Through Hell, Fire Bay, Frostburn, and Into the Jungle.
Got it.
So within each map there are 6 categories you can go for. The first 4 are fairly obvious. They're just different runs with each kit in the game. There's Leaper, where you can just use your 4 leaps. There's Disruptor, where you have 3 leaps, and there's also a glitch you can do, which we'll go into later. Warper, you have 2 leaps and your Ender Pearl to teleport to people, and another glitch that we'll cover later. So then there's Digger, where you just break and place blocks.
Is that the achievement? Is that the achievement kit?
Yes, that's the achievement.
Okay, got it.
And then there's Kitless, where you don't use any of those kits, but you can use anything else. That includes Digger Assistance and another exploit, which we'll cover later in this episode. And in addition to Kitless, we have Kitless Helpless, where you can't use any of those glitches that the other category can use. You just run.
Gotcha. So looking at this, me as a kind of a noob on this, obviously Kitless Helpless is you're not using anything. It's the natural way. So these times should be the highest records in time, which I'm correct on saying that. But they're also the most natural way. You're not using any help at all. It's just you with nothing. So I get why the times are so dramatically different, which is pretty cool. And the fastest time is the Warper, I'm correct? So you're kind of skipping ahead a little bit.
Yes, Warper is currently the fastest.
And obviously there's something on Through Hell, 16 seconds. We'll talk about that in a little bit when you talk about the things that you can do to get to that type of score and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Right, this is pretty cool. So I see your records are, you've got 2 in Through Hell and Pirate Bay. You've got 2 in Through Hell. You've got the Digger, the Kitless Helpless. You've got the 1 Skylands, the Kitless Helpless. You've got the Pirate Bay, Digger kit. And then you've got Into the Jungle, the Kitless Helpless one. So you have 3 of the Kitless Helpless ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, I like that the best. I really think the traditional, not using anything is a pretty cool way to do it. It's pretty cool. So pretty cool. So here's your layout. Here's all the records. If you do click through to some of these, some of the YouTube videos for the actual records are there, so you can find them, which is pretty cool. So if you want to see the Fat Man's, all of your videos are there, right? You can get to your channel through here. I'm going to put a link in the video description too, so you'll see a link to his channel for all the videos of the speed runs. Because if you want to, Helpless, obviously, you know, you could run through the map and try to beat the record, but some of these you need to see what they're doing in order to know how they get to these times, because they figured out the little corners, how to cut the corners. Am I saying that right? Cutting the corners?
Yeah, yes.
You guys sit around in some room somewhere and figure this out. I don't know how you do it, but you guys have, in talking to you enough, I've figured it out that a bunch of you get together and you think this stuff all day long, and you say, you know what, if we cut this corner and try this and try that, you know, maybe we can shave a couple seconds off of our time. And I'm guessing that's how it happened, but I think it's awesome. I think this whole scoring system's awesome, and these speed runs are incredible. And again, this is professional Dragon Escape. This is not going for wins. This is professional Dragon Escape going for perfection. And from what you've told me, there's not a perfect run here. So all these records can be broken, right?
Yes, all of them can pretty much be broken.
Got it. So, and when I say a perfect run, I mean every single block, jump, perfect, no skips, no nothing, perfect without the lag, with anything. So every single record here can be beat. Not by much, but they can be beat, which is pretty cool. So over time, you'll see these records these times get lower and lower and lower, which is a pretty cool achievement. So I guess question for you, in your opinion, which record's here the longest, and which one do you think is the hardest one to break? Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe it's one of the same.
All right. So the longest lasting one is one of my records, which is Through Hell Digger. I believe it was uploaded on May. I believe May was when it was uploaded.
And this is Digger.
Still,
which one is this again? I'm sorry.
Through Hell Digger.
Through Hell Digger. 1 minute 4 and 8:31 milliseconds.
Yes.
Okay.
May was when it started, and it's still the world record today for
Wow.
some reason.
That's pretty cool.
As to saying the hardest, that really depends actually, because with our current stance, Skyland Leaper would be the hardest because someone figured out how to use your leaps extremely well,
Okay.
and no one else has. Very few people have been able to figure out how to do it. Although once people do figure out how to do it, it could probably be beaten pretty simply.
Gotcha. So that Skylands Leaper kit, Razorblade 8888 has a pretty good score. That's pretty tough to beat too. All right, well, the EU and the American server weren't working, and my first time here, I'm in the Australian server, which has not been updated yet for the Christmas lobby. And joining us, minersCode. What's going on, dude?
Hey guys.
Hey, made it with us, and the fat man somewhere running around up there. But for this portion of the video, we're going to be talking about some of the different debatable topics, some of the things that people have used to improve their times that have been allowed. The first topic we're going to talk about is the Warper exploit. So I'll let the fat man talk from here. He's going to tell us about this Warper exploit thing. So go ahead.
Alright, so about like March or April, me and Dor worked together to create a strat. He had the idea of having someone else leap, then having you warp to them, and then leap to a better area. And I had an idea of where to actually use that, and I ended up saving like 20 seconds in
Wow.
Skylands as a result. So the glitch gave me the ability to skip a large portion of the map.
Okay.
And yeah, that's basically how that goes. If you want to know why it was accepted, since minersCode is here now, I think it would be a good time to ask him about why we accepted that.
Miners, any feedback on that?
Oh yeah, so basically, in a normal game mode, like a public game, it more than likely won't be allowed, but since it was in an MPS, it wasn't ruining gameplay for any other players, so that was the main reason I had accepted it originally.
Okay, got it. And that still stands as of now. So you're in an MPS, which again, with a lot of these records, you basically, for anyone that has a world record, these are all in MPSs, aren't they, Fat Man?
Most of them are.
Most of them are. And nowadays, you'll see, from what I've learned, you know, in order to get these records, you're really going to be in an MPS with one other person, or maybe a couple people. But so because it was in an MPS, it's allowable. So that's why your score is, well, your score has been broken, it looks like. I look up here, the Warper's Skylands map Warper kit. It's 37 seconds and 118 milliseconds is the current record, right? Using your strat?
Yeah, so that actually had 3 people involved in order to make it happen.
Okay, so 3 people involved in order to make it happen.
And when I made the strat, the run itself was garbage, and it got beaten within like 2 days. So I was just glad that I got it.
Gotcha. Pretty cool. All right, awesome. All right, so the next debated topic is TNT blocks and ways that they've been used to help improve times and stuff like that. So the Fat Man, why don't you tell us about the TNT block thing?
So as you may know and may have been trolled by before, there is a disruptor kit in the game where you have the 3 leaps and the TNT. The TNT, what you can do with it is when you place it down by right-clicking, for a couple of frames, it will still be there as a block.
Okay.
And you can actually jump on the TNT in those couple frames. You can use that to get to places you couldn't before. And that allows some middle time saves throughout the run.
Okay, and that's allowable in an MPS and outside of an MPS, or just MPS?
I don't really. For a strat that's like that mild, I won't really care if you use it in an I don't care if you use it in an MPS or a public server, mostly because the strat, you're probably going to save like 2 seconds. You're probably going to win anyway if you win with the TNT. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. So the record on that, on the TNT, which one would show the best record with the TNT, using the TNT block here?
I actually have. No, I'm going to say the Pirate Bay one.
The Pirate Bay one?
Pirate Bay has a pretty ridiculous strat in it that I probably couldn't even do. So just use that one. It's
Gotcha. Cool. Pretty cool. Interesting. All right, so the next debated topic is this menu grabbing within an MPS, and I'm clueless here. So, the Fat Man, why don't you tell us about it?
Alright, so since we allow it, I might as well give a step-by-step guide. You need to be in an MPS, and you need to be co-host on it, or host, either one. What you gotta do is, when you're in the game, type /menu, and the GUI will pop up showing you the all the blocks that represent start game and all that stuff. Go to, I don't think it actually matters which block you use. Most people go for the emerald block. You move your mouse to it, shift click it into your inventory, and immediately escape. And if you do it fast enough, the block will stay in your hand, and you can place it down once, and it will be there for like 1 frame. So
Kind of like the TNT, you're saying? So you can use that to place somewhere like the TNT a little
basically
bit.
kind of like the TNT, except I haven't tested yet, but I think it stays there not as long. I think the TNT stays a little bit longer than the Emerald Block does, which
Gotcha.
makes some things really hard. I've tried it. It's hard.
Cool. And this is all the maps that it's being used. Are there any records right now using that are here as we speak, or?
At this current time, only one of them does not have it yet, but it uses something else we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Skylands, it just uses the digger assistance thing.
Gotcha.
We haven't. You could use it, but we haven't yet.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. All right, so the next topic is the digger assistance, which is the kitless records. And the Fat Man, why don't you tell us a little bit about that and how that works?
All right. So first of all, this and the next strat. The other strats that I was talking about before, they're probably the bigger strats in a way. These two are the most hated.
Okay.
This one especially was extremely hated when it was a thing. So a guy named Nate Dogg had the idea of having someone use not use their kit for a kitless run, but have someone else use a kit for them. So they had the other person use Digger and have him place blocks that other people could take advantage of. Couldn't break blocks, but you could place blocks and help them that way.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but this was really heavily hated. And when this happened, this was when people started requesting for the kitless helpless idea.
Okay.
To completely obliterate that, but I only added it once the menu grabbing strat became a thing.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So this is under the kitless, but the kitless helpless kind of evolved from a lot of these strategies, created this whole new category of just plain vanilla, nothing racing through best times and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
and that was generally the argument at the time, is that we wanted like a more legit thing.
Gotcha. And are people doing the digger assistance in MPSs or in the public servers, or are they doing it in both? Or
Generally, if you're trying to go for world record, you're probably going to do it in an MPS anyway.
okay,
It's probably going to be hard to do it on a normal server. It's possible, but it would be a lot easier just to play on an MPS.
gotcha. Pretty cool. All right, we're back. The U.S. server's up, and this is my favorite place in the Christmas lobby. The Christmas light ring, which you can run around the whole map. Julian's going to go run around the map. We'll time it. We'll do it. Hey, we could have a speed run world record for how long it takes to get around the Christmas lights if you wanted to make a new category. But anyway, we have one more debatable topic. It's the jungle exploit. And Fat Man, why don't you tell us about that while you try to Ender Pearl up there? I see you flying around. So.
All right. Okay, I'm up here. So for some, I have no idea why this was hated so much. I'm going to actually talk about the arguments because this was controversial for no reason. I feel like this should not have been controversial. So, someone, Mr. Night Raven 505, found a way to go onto the side of the walls of Into the Jungle. If you've seen the map, you probably know what they are. Not to the sides and climbing up to the destination, and skipped a little bit of a portion of it. The strat only saves like 5 seconds.
Oh, so it's only for
I
5
found that-
seconds?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a warper thing, except you don't need warper for it. Which is, this is the only area where you can get out of bounds without warper. The reason it was controversial, for some reason a lot of people hated it, and the number one argument was that it ruins the sanctity of Leaper World Records, which I thought was stupid. And I just said that it's pretty much a warper strat, basically. If you're denying that, you're denying warper strats, and they just said that warper is less important.
Gotcha. So this strategy, record-wise, it's under the warper kit or it's under the jumper kit? I'm trying to figure out where.
It's the jumper kit, and I think it could be used in Disruptor. I don't know what the Disruptor is used for.
Okay, gotcha. So right now the Into the Jungle jumper kit by Windmark has the record, and he did use this wall type of little advantage there, I guess?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Cool. So I'm assuming that as time goes on, more people will create, I guess, more of these little debatable topics, I should say, right? As people figure things out.
I feel like we're kind of hitting a point where
Okay.
big glitches are kind of done for.
Got it.
I'm sure there's like, I'm curious if there's a strat where you can recharge your leap instantly. I'm really curious if that's been built. Because if so, that would be amazing.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, that's pretty cool. All these different little debatable topics are now part of the world records. And again, you've got your different categories, and Kitless Helpless. Again, my favorite is just your all-natural way of running through the map and finishing it as fast as possible. Well, all right, guys. So honestly, I've really enjoyed this. Speed running is pretty cool. It's not for me, not in this game. I may go back and try Mario Brothers, try to speed run that thing, because I think that's one of the better games that I'm good at. But I'm gonna have some links down below to the Fat Man's channel, to all the different controversial, debatable topics. We'll have some videos showing you how they were done, stuff like that. And again, a link to the World Records forum. Links, all kinds of links in this video series, so check them out. Also, if you have any questions on the speed runs, on the website speedrun.com, there is a forum section there. These guys are monitoring it along with a couple other people, so feel free to ask any questions down there about the Mineplex Dragon Escape speed runs. And other than that, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Episode 4 will be out next week with some more world records, some of the newer records. I'm going to finish this off. We're going to show the Fat Man's record run, his Through Hell with No Leap record run. So coming up next. See you guys later. Bye-bye.